Johnny, they were feeling low. Life's a grind, man, it was moving slow. Tired of the struggles, tired of the fight. They turned to the meat and it felt so right. With steaks on their plates and the grill fired up, they found a new rhythm and filled their cup. Joy started flowing, laughter's out of sight. Now they're living loud, embracing the night. Yeah, they went full carnivore and the joy has begun. Sickness and gloom like shadows they run. With every bite taken, the feeling so great. Sharing their message, they just can't wait. So tune in, my friend, each Wednesday night. Join Real Talk with Brian and Johnny. What a sight. Oh, what a sight.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are live. Johnny, welcome back after having, I'd say last week off, but you actually were doing a lot of work, moving, helping your brother move. So how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Brian. It's great to be back. I was able to check in for about 15 or 20 minutes last week when you had, I think, was that Coach Eden on the show in my stead, and you guys did great, as always. But it's good to be back. I missed this, and I've been looking forward to it all week.
All right. So I know YouTube's been having problems today, and it looks like maybe it's fixed, but I know that some people could not comment at all on live streams, and then other people could comment, and then the people doing the live stream couldn't see the comments. But I do see some comments here, so I think maybe they fixed it. I hope. If you're commenting and your comment doesn't seem to be showing up, it's not that we are blocking it. It may be a problem still with YouTube, but right now it looks like things are working. So let's say hi to people in the chat. Rick is here.
Rick.
First one here. And yes, he's seeing that it works now. Steadfast. Linda, she said, I left 2 messages and they got took down, so I'm through. So I hope she comes back. It looks like this message went through.
Yeah. Hope you're back, Linda. Cynthia. Bacon Runner. Hey, Bacon Runner.
Did we just lose? Okay. That was weird. Like my connection just flashed for a second. Bacon Runner, Donna Ray, I believe is her name, right? I believe. Hello? Jiffy says, me too. I have a theory and I researched it. It appears people using special browsers with the blockers are under attack from the big G. They want more commercials. Maybe. I don't know.
And Brian, along those lines, I did notice when I was trying to watch the live stream last week, I only watched about 20 or 25 minutes, and there were multiple commercials while I was trying to watch the live stream. And I don't see that a whole lot. I wonder if the people watching us get all the commercials. Because in 20 minutes, I think I saw 3 different commercial breaks last week trying to watch you and Coach Eden. The commercials would play for a little while. You could eventually skip them, but I missed a lot of what you guys were saying.
Yeah. I thought most of the commercials were like at the beginning or the end. I don't know. It's interesting. Did I bring? All right, I brought that one up. That's weird. It's like grade, like I can't see it. That's just weird. Coach Edens is here. She says, "Oh wow, is it working? All of their lives, I can't chat or creators can't see." Yeah, so maybe they've kind of fixed things since. I don't know. Rick uses Google Chrome. That's what I use as well. Yeah,
me too.
So Rick says he gets commercials on my stream, but not Johnny's. I'm assuming he's saying. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I have monetization on, but I don't know why it would be any different than yours because you have monetization too, right?
As soon as we finish the live stream, I go in there and turn monetization on. I don't have it on while we're doing the live stream. I have it on for the replays.
Oh. So I usually have mine on from the beginning, and maybe that's the problem. I always thought it just does the ad like at the beginning or the end of the video, though.
And I don't know. I think it
Maybe
may
I'll
be
have to
random.
change
Maybe
that.
that they, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it has to do with engagement. How many people on there? Does that cause it to throw a commercial if it's got enough concurrent viewers at that moment or whatever? But just as soon as we finish, Brian, when you and I go off the air and we say our goodbyes to each other, I click over, I turn my monetization on. But so that way, if anybody comes back and watches it later, I can capture that. But I thought that's what you're supposed to do. I didn't know you could have it on while we're talking. But I mean, you know, I make about $1 every 6 days, literally. So it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Well, you get a check from YouTube after you get to $100. I think that happens about 3 times a year for me. So
Yeah, I got 4 this year for a total of $390 something for the whole year, and I worked my butt off last year.
yeah. But we do have smaller channels, so
Yeah.
not like some of the people that have really large channels with thousands and thousands of subscribers. So maybe that's part of it. Okay. Yeah, Coach Eden says she's not monetized. You know, I'm assuming they don't do advertisements if you're not monetized. I don't think they do. I don't know.
I think they still do. They just don't share the revenue with you, because there were ads on my channel before I hit what was it, Brian? 1,000 subs and 500 hours of watch time or something like that. And there were people. My brother would watch my videos. He'd say there was commercials on my videos long before I was actually monetized. And before you get monetized, you're not even allowed to sign up for monetization until you hit those bullet points. The 1,000 hours of watch time and 500 subscribers or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So, Coach Edens, they actually may have some commercials on your videos.
Helix is here.
Hey, Helix.
Hello.
Refined Fire.
Okay, Linda says already a commercial, so she must have had a commercial. So maybe I need to disable monetization until after the live streams. Maybe that's what's causing the problem. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe next week you can do that setting, and we'll ask people to help us and see if they see a commercial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll run a test next week and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what we'll do, I think. Okay. Oops. Jiffy says, I'm so glad to be here tonight. Thank you guys. I should try to keep my mouth shut.
But
no, you're okay.
Yeah, it's all about the interaction. It's a community.
Yeah, and he says it's not y'all, it's the big G. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But I'm glad you're here. Okay, so our topic tonight is America getting healthier in 2026. So that's a good question, right? I mean, there are some things that look like maybe they are, but at the same time, for quite a while, it seems like our society is just getting sicker and sicker. So, Johnny, why don't you kick us off here and kind of give us a little bit of your thoughts on this?
Well, Brian, I did some research before we went on air. I used Grok, which is I guess Elon's AI thing or whatever. And the problem is when you try to use Chat GPT or Google or one of those, I think some of the data is outdated. Some of the most recent stuff they have is from like 2023, 2024, a little bit in 2025. So really before the Health and Human Services Secretary, RFK Jr., was able to flip the food pyramid upside down. But Rick's got a great point. Rick says people drink and smoke less. They're saying the alcohol sales, some of the big liquor companies and wine and beer companies are in big, big trouble because the younger generation simply does not partake in alcohol. I mean, it's fallen off a cliff, which I'm okay with because alcohol is a toxin. There's no safe level of alcohol. We know that. And smoking, I see a lot of people vaping, especially a lot of the young people I work with vape, and I'm sure it's probably just as bad as smoking, but you almost never see people smoke anymore, and I'm okay with that, But so the research I did said that adults are moving incrementally forward in their health. Now, some of it they may relate to like GLP-1s. And even though we criticize GLP-1s, and rightfully so, I think if you start taking a GLP-1, it says that you're trying to do something about your state of health. You're trying to fix your diabetes or your high insulin levels. And so maybe you're making healthier choices along with taking a GLP-1. But they said, so adults, I guess 18 and over, are making incremental steps forward and getting healthier. Kids are going the opposite direction. The 16 and under crowd are getting sicker. Even the most recent data, which was from the fourth quarter of 2025, shows more kids are pre-diabetic, high blood pressure, fatty liver than in 2024. Now, this is only one source. Well, I'm sure Grok probably pulled from multiple sources, but my source was Grok. And I don't know. It just high hopes going forward, but I hope that I'm not using rose-colored glasses. And it's ironic that I'm saying all this, Brian, because I work in healthcare and I'm fixing to go work in a hospital. So my job will depend on people being sick, and there's no shortage of sick people. Fortunately for my job, unfortunately for humanity, right? But I plan to be somebody that's going to take good care of people. And everywhere I can, I'm going to ask people, tell me about your diet and tell me about your exercise routine, and hopefully I can offer some unsolicited advice on cutting carbohydrates, getting rid of ultra processed food, and just moving. We'll see. I'm not going to get myself in any trouble, but I think that's pretty common advice now. Get rid of junk food and move a little bit more. I don't think that should be controversial at all. But it's funny. You go in the hospital, the cafeteria. I ate in the hospital the day before yesterday, and they had salads and stuff. And they did have like, I got 2 burger patties with some bacon, no bun. I was able to get that, but the overwhelming majority of stuff served in the hospital is ultra processed food. All the vending machines have soda and crackers and candy bars and honey buns and all that stuff in the hospital. So we still got an uphill battle. There's plenty of work for all of us to do to try to spread the word with our friends, neighbors, people that we love, and try to convince them to get away from all that garbage and don't end up like the 61-year-old lady I took to hospice the other day that had a massive stroke at 61, and we took her to hospice and she died about 30 minutes after we got there. See it every day. And I'll be 60. I'll be 59 in about a week. So I'm not that lady was not very much older than me, and she was obviously an unhealthy person, and felt so bad for her family. And like I've said before, all this is so unnecessary. I'll shut up now, Brian. You can talk.
I want to bring up this one comment. That was a good comment here. Talking about the alcohol sales. It says alcohol sales are down because the traditional bar scene is dead because people are married to their phones. And there's a lot of validity to this. Things have changed so much from when we were younger to the way things are now. Everything is social media. Everybody's on their phones. And yeah, people aren't going necessarily out to the bars to meet people. They're meeting people on different social media apps, and that's how they're meeting people. It's completely different than how it used to be. So that's probably a great point in terms of, alcohol sales.
Brian, I work with a bunch of 20-somethings. Most of my coworkers at work are 22 to 30 years old, and they never talk about alcohol. They always talk about video games. They when they're off duty, they play online video games against one another. They've kind of created their own little video game community, and they discuss the games that they play, none of which makes any sense to me because I don't do video games. But I've never heard a single one of them in the 2 years I've been there ever mention alcohol of any kind at all. And there's only like 8 or, I guess maybe we have 11 people there that fit that category. I've never heard a single one of them talk about drinking beer, or going and getting a drink, or nothing. It's all about playing those video games, which a lot of times they play on their phone while they're at work.
Yeah. Coach Edens also says, I figured the price of bar drinks is too expensive. It is. Just going to a restaurant. So sometimes, like when we go, like as a big group with family members and so forth, there's like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of us there or something, and somebody's going to get a drink. And I get the check like afterwards, the bill or whatever, and I'll look and like the drink was like $15 or $20. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Great.
That is
Wow.
insane. Yeah. It's crazy. I want to bring this up too. Peter says, I just watched a doc on Fox News saying that the reduction in price for GLP-1s is a win-win for both patients and the drug companies because they'll be able to sell more of these valuable weight loss drugs. And, you know, the problem is that they're trying to fix their issue with the pill, not with actual proper diet. So they can never go off of taking that medication. Because if they do, they're going back to how they were eating before and they're just going to gain all the weight back. That's the big problem.
Yep. It's a short-term fix. It's a short-term fix to a very long-term problem. It'll fix it in the short run, just like me and you, Brian. When I went on that cut calories, low fat exercise diet, I lost 100 pounds, and I put it on. It took me a year to lose 100 pounds, and it took me about 3 months to put all of it back on. And I started putting it on the day my mom died, and it's, you know, I kind of lost my motivation to be healthy, and it just because I had lost muscle mass, I had lost bone tissue. You know, even though I was doing all that stuff, when you're in a huge calorie deficit and you're not getting any, you know, the right protein, you're not getting enough fat in there. And then once you go back to eating regularly, now your metabolism's even slower. So now you're going to gain weight even faster. So it's almost like a mirage, you know, it really is, these GLP-1s.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to try something because I see there's another one said they just got a commercial. So I'm going to let you talk for a minute and I'm going to try and see if I can disable it in YouTube and see if that makes a difference. If people stop, you know, these. So let me do that real quick.
Okay. Another stat that I saw, guys, and I just saw this. Actually, this was on another research thing I was doing. The average time that a doctor, if you go to the doctor, because doctors are not independent contractors anymore. Most doctors, the vast majority of them now work for a hospital group, for a big medical conglomerate. And they're allowed about 15 minutes with each patient. That's the time they're given it. Between the time they walk in the room and the time they walk out, they have a maximum of 15 minutes because they have to see X amount of patients every day in order to make budget, to make what their projections are, right? So if they're in there for 17 minutes with you, the next person gets cut to 13 minutes. So if you go in an afternoon appointment and the doctor, he or she is running behind, you may only get 9 minutes with your doctor. Another stat they said was the average time between when you start talking and when your doctor interrupts you is 11 seconds. Because your doctor, he or she, knows they're on they got a stopwatch and they're looking on their iPad or whatever, how much time they've been in there. So the average time between they say, hey, Mr. Smith, how are you doing today? Tell me what's going on. You talk for 11 seconds. They butt in, interrupt you, and then they have to, you know, because they're in such a hurry because they're working on production, for lack of a better term. And that's a stat that I learned today. 15 minutes per patient and 11 seconds to hear what your complaint is. And so people that don't take their health seriously, that's what's going to be their future. And it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. And so I feel for people that won't address their diet, exercise, lifestyle, sleep, all the things that we talk about. I don't see that situation improving, you know, anytime soon. Maybe AI will fix some of that stuff, but I'd rather just, you know, eat beef, butter, bacon, and eggs and run my sprints and lift weights and sleep good. That's a better prescription.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, so I was able to disable monetization on this video. So let me know in the chat if you get any more ads. And if you don't, then we know that's what it is. And I'm just going to have to keep monetization off until after the live stream is over.
Yep. Because
again, I thought it was just at the beginning and then like the end or something. I didn't know it would just be throwing commercials out on people during the middle.
Yeah. Hey, see, Brian, we've been online for 19 minutes and people said there's been 3 or 4 commercials. So
that's
and like I tried to watch you and Coach Eden last week. It was hard to watch.
Huh. That is crazy. Okay. Um, didn't some celebrities lose muscle mass on GLP-1s, especially in their faces? They look horrible. And then Coach Eden said, yes, everyone loses muscle mass on GLP-1 is not avoidable. Yes. I know somebody that was prescribed a GLP-1 and their doctor told them that they need to ensure that they're eating a lot of protein with the food that they are eating. Because, well, first of all, when you go on a GLP-1, you're not that very hungry. So you need to make the food that you're eating count. So you need to eat a lot of protein. And they told them that they need to start lifting weights. And this was a female, by the way. But they said you need to start lifting weights because otherwise you will lose muscle with GLP-1. So it is nice that at least some doctors out there are telling people that. Not a lot of doctors, I think, do, but at least some people are. So yeah, that's definitely a problem with taking the GLP-1s. You tend to lose muscle.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
You know what else is a muscle?
Your heart.
Your heart. If you have atrophy of your biceps and triceps and quadriceps, you're going to have some atrophy in the heart too. It is a muscle. It requires protein as well, right? It needs protein synthesis to maintain the tissue, right? I think this is just we're already starting to see it now. If you or a loved one was harmed by this GLP-1, you may be entitled to compensation. Give it 18 months from right now. Wait till spring of 2027. That's all you're going to see on all the TV channels and a lot of the YouTube channels. If you or a loved one was damaged, contact this law firm. Pfizer, Moderna, whatever these companies that make these GLP-1s have set aside billions of dollars to pay these claims. You can almost hear it now, because how many miracle drugs have we seen in the last 20, 25 years that are supposed to be the end all be all to whatever they're trying to fix? And you give it time, they pull the drugs off the market. People are harmed and killed and maimed, but the drug company made $50 billion and they pay out $10 billion in lawsuits and settlements, and they're $40 billion to the good. Yeah. Happens time and time. I've been on this rock almost 60 years. I've seen it time and time again.
So let me ask, because I'm not that familiar with the GLP-1s, and I think maybe it has something to do with the dosage, but they've been around for a long time for diabetes, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I'm assuming that's probably a much lower dosage than what people are using to try and lose weight. Is that correct?
Could be. And the thing about GLP-1, you have GLP-1 in you, I have GLP-1 in me. The problem is when you eat ultra processed foods and sugar, it blunts, or it stunts your ability to, it's the satiety hormone, right? All GLP-1 is the satiety hormone. It helps you realize that you're full. It turns off your appetite. And if you, I don't know, if you ate a whole can of frosting, for example, that would interrupt your GLP-1s, right?
Who would do that?
I don't know. Or if you ate a bunch of donuts this morning, for example, it might turn off your GLP-1. So that's the problem. That's why these foods have been engineered, is to block the receptor sites on the cell for these GLP-1s that are a naturally occurring hormone. We all have them. So you take additional exogenous GLP-1 and it helps to control your appetite. Where if you just avoid the foods that are engineered to blunt the GLP-1 response, you don't need the GLP-1. I mean, you don't need additional or exogenous GLP-1. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
So we're giving you a poison of the ultra processed foods that blocks and blunts your natural GLP-1. Then we're going to give you exogenous GLP-1 to take care of the poison. It's like we're going to hurt you. Then we're going to give you a drug to try to help what we're hurting. Just don't take the bad food, and then you don't have to worry about the side effects.
Yeah. So that whole can of frosting thing is a good segue. I put a video out. Was it Monday? It was Monday. I put a video out explaining my experience over the weekend. So I might as well tell it in a abbreviated way here. I really learned my lesson big time. So Friday, my wife went out of town, and there was a can of frosting left on the kitchen counter. And Friday evening, I got into it. I know. like I'm not supposed to. I know. So I got into it and started having some of it, and man, we were talking about this a little bit, like the addiction thing, right? Um, it just like almost instantly makes your brain think like, I got to have more of that. Keep eating that. So I had some Friday evening. I went to bed. Saturday morning, I woke up and I was like, well, here is the first thing I said. Well, I got to get rid of this evidence now. So I am over here explaining to myself why it's okay to continue to eat this. I got to get rid of the rest of it now to, get rid of the evidence. So I ate the rest of the can. So in like a day and a half, I had a can of frosting. Now, I typically am pretty much 100% or as close to it as possible carnivore for 3.5 years. So when people say when they eat something they shouldn't, how they can get pain really bad, let me tell you, they are not lying. Saturday evening, by Saturday night, I was really hurting in my lower back. All day Sunday, Monday, I could barely walk. My back was hurting so bad. Even yesterday, it was still kind of bad. It's to the point today, this morning I woke up, it wasn't too bad. And now by this evening, there's hardly any pain at all left. So it's going away by being very clean. But boy, that was a huge mistake and a big lesson to learn. Now, before carnivore, I used to do that sometimes. There'd be a can of frosting in the house. I would eat the whole thing. That's the first time in over 3.5 years of being on carnivore that I've done something like that. And oh my gosh, my body was like, no, this is wrong. I'm going to make you pay so that you understand you're not supposed to eat this. Oh, it was horrible.
It's funny you talk about that, Brian, with all the moving and back and forth. I've been back and forth driving back to Augusta and Aiken and helping my brother and all the stuff here and working extra hours. Things have been crazy, and I've not been good lately. And my lower back today has been just absolute misery. And it's just one spot. It's right across I guess it's across my kidneys. And I don't think it's kidney related, because if I move a certain way, I can just feel the muscles. And I've definitely got to get back on plan ASAP, because I haven't had back pain like this in over 2 years. I haven't had any pain. I go the vast majority of my life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with no pain anywhere. But I've messed up so much here lately, as you can probably tell, with my old chin coming on here and all this fat. My back is killing me. It's hurting right now. I mean, it's not bad as long as I stay still, but if I go to stand up from the chair or go up down the stairs, it's just one like a strap across my back. And it's a 7 out of 10. And, I can clean my diet up and it'll be gone in 2 days, 3 days, which I got to do. But I was telling Brian earlier, guys, I had to get up about 3:30 this morning. I had to take a test for some of my medical stuff in Greensboro, North Carolina, which is about 85 miles from here. And I had to be there about 8 o'clock, and I wanted to get ahead of all the morning traffic, school traffic. It was in Greensboro, and that's kind of a busy city. So I got up at 3:30, got my shower and everything, and drove up there. Got there early. The instructor got there a little bit late, and there was a bunch of people there. So by the time I got in to do my part of the examination, I had to show my Social Security card and my driver's license. Well, my name is John Wood, but on my Social Security card, it says John Wood III. So they turned me away. They said I couldn't do it. I had to get that fixed. So I've been up since 3:30 this morning, and I've been kind of I went in a bad mood. It wasn't their fault. I should have made sure that matched before I went up there, but pretty frustrating to go through all the studying that I've been doing. I've been studying like crazy to pass this exam and get all the way up there, and they turned me away because of the last 3 letters on the end of my name, of why I just use capital I for the third. And so I had to come home. So I had to reschedule the test now for March the 9th. So 1 step forward, 2 steps back here lately, but we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And I'm so excited to hopefully be going to work inside the hospital, getting off the ambulance. I was telling Brian before we went on, hopefully it'll be similar to like when I worked at Lowe's. When I worked at Lowe's, I did 11-hour shifts with a 1-hour lunch. and I would get between 13,000 and 16,000 steps a day. This will be a 12-hour shift in the hospital with a 30-minute lunch. So I'm hoping I can get 16 to 18,000 steps a day. I'll have a defined lunch hour or lunch half hour, so eating will be a lot more manageable. There'll be a break room where I can put my pre-cooked meals in the fridge instead of riding around in the back of an ambulance all day with no refrigerator. So hopefully when I get my new job, all this will be worth it, and I can get my activity level way up on the days that I work.
Yeah. That's a huge increase in steps.
Yeah.
For what you got now.
Every day. Yeah. Multiply that times, 5 or 6 days a week. That's going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's great compared to what I get in every day with, with my job, because I'm sitting at a computer all day long. So, yeah. So I've been trying to put some chat messages up here as we go. There's a lot of people that have joined that while we were talking, they didn't really get to say hi
Thomas.
to you, but Thomas is here. I know Paul's here.
Hey, Paul.
Peter's had a few things in the chat. Bacon Runner. So I think we might have already said hi to Bacon Runner. I can't remember, but yeah. If there's anybody I missed, hello. Good to see you here. So yeah, we've been talking about, is America getting healthier in 2026? And that kind of got us into GLP-1, where people are talking a lot in the chat about the GLP-1s and stuff. Also, quick note. So we've been on for about a half hour. We're going to drop a little early tonight. We're going to go an hour. So we got about 30 minutes left. So we're going to go until 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So if you do have any questions for us, make sure you get the questions in for capital Q, and get those in here in the next 30 minutes here before we drop. So the trainers send those things thinking of going on GLP-1 right to me. I found my niche. Never dreamed it would be GLP-1. Interesting. Oh, this is interesting. Thomas invested in a walking pad. So what exactly is a walking pad? I'm assuming that's different than a treadmill, right? I'm not sure what a walking pad is. I've heard somebody else mention it before, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. Do you know what it is, Johnny?
I think it's almost like a mini treadmill. It's a pad, so it doesn't have like the big stand and the handrails. It's just like a little walking pad. If you can imagine shrinking down a treadmill, like you washed it in hot water or something. It's just a much smaller one that you just can walk on. I think that's what it is. Thomas will let us know, but I'm pretty sure that's, because I think I've seen ads for those on YouTube ads, or even on Temu. It's basically just a miniature treadmill without all the bells and whistles, but that you can actually keep your feet.
Yeah, he says a treadmill that fits under the desk. Okay, cool. Oops, I want to go back up to Peter's. He says, if you check the ingredients in that frosting, I bet it was loaded with seed oils and chemicals in addition to sugar. Yeah, I threw out the can without really looking too much, but I did sort of start to look at the ingredients. There was a lot of sugar in it, but I think one of the very first things I saw was some kind of like palm seed oil or something like that. I can't remember. And I just was like, what did I do to myself? But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of really crappy fake ingredients in that frosting. It's not like it was a homemade frosting or anything. That was basically probably sugar and a couple other things. And sugar is bad enough as it is, right? Any carb. But yeah, that had like a lot of seed oils, I'm sure. Coach Edens has a walking pad. Goes 2 miles per hour. I walk and work on my computer. That's cool. Peter says, Johnny, what foods are you going off plan and eating?
Donuts, honey buns, and apple fritters. That's my my arch nemesis.
Cynthia was right. She was talking about the honey buns.
My gosh. I don't know. I don't know. And when I get tired, and my wife and I both, and my brother, my sister, my brother, we're exhausted. We're trying to move 2 houses. My brother tends to be somebody that doesn't like throwing things away. That's a polite way of saying he's a hoarder. And he's been in his house for 23 years, and we've been trying to help him get cleaned up. We rented a U-Haul truck, and my wife and I loaded up a bunch of stuff from our house, took it to our storage building down in South Carolina. Then we went to my brother's house in Georgia, loaded it up. And then I had to come back and go to work and work my 4 days. Work has been crazy. We had 2 of our ambulances were recently in pretty bad wrecks. Fortunately, everybody's going to be okay. But I'm a supervisor up here, so that adds extra additional work and stress to me. So I cannot wait to get to Aiken, where we're moving to Aiken, South Carolina, get settled in our new house, and get a different job. There, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Now, I took this job thinking the grass would be greener, and it's a good job, and I do enjoy the people I work with, and I love working with the patients. I love the patients and their families, which makes me yearn to work in a hospital on one of the floors where I can spend more time, being a caregiver, as opposed to the 30 minutes I'm with them in the back of the ambulance while we take them to hospice or take them home. Anyway, so Brian said we're going to go 1 hour tonight. Part of the reason we're only going 1 hour is because I'm exhausted. And I got up at 3:30 this morning to go take that test and got turned away because my Social Security number didn't match my profile. Anyway, I digress.
All right. So Paul posted, I think you ate thousands of carbs. Just for the heck of it, I just looked online to see nutrition facts on a can of frosting. And I don't know, this is like Pillsbury creamy supreme vanilla frosting. Okay. It says 21 grams of sugar, 23 grams of carbs per serving. What I'm trying to see is how many servings. It says 2 tablespoons is a serving. How many servings are there in a can? It doesn't tell me that. Amount per serving.
How many servings are in a can of frosting?
Yeah, I guess we got to look that up.
13 to 15. So we'll go with 14. We'll go right in the middle. So 14 times 24.
14 times 23.
14. Let's do that math. So let's see here. I should be smart enough to do that in my head. I was too tired. 14 times 23 equals 322, and that's a gram. Yeah, 322 grams of carbohydrates. 322.
Really?
And there's, was it 4 calories? Yeah, 4 times 4 calories times. I know calories don't matter, but that's basically 1,300 calories of frosting.
Yeah, and it was.
I have no room to talk.
It was 21 grams of sugar, so it was almost all sugar, actually. Yeah. Wow. So I go from, maybe minuscule amount of carb in like eggs or something like that, or in the meat, but not even really traceable, so little, to 300 and some grams of carbs. No wonder why my back was killing me. Jeez.
Amy's here.
Wow.
See Amy on there.
Yeah.
Hey, Amy.
Rocking Coach Amy. Hello.
Amy was on our show 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yes, she was. Bacon Runner says, I looked at a can of frosting while in the store today just to see what you did. It was bad. Sorry that I have it to you. I know. Like, I haven't messed up that badly in 3.5 years. I don't know what happened to me.
Well, Brian, let me ask you a question. Why did you not have just one tiny little teaspoonful and then just stop?
That was probably my initial intent, right? I mean, look, I'll tell you, I was a very, very fat person that ate a lot before carnivore. I was very addicted to carbs. Yes, sweets, but just carbs in general, not necessarily sweets. And I'm telling you, that addiction kicked right in as soon as I had some of that. Like, my brain, something just churned in my brain, something clicked where I just wanted to keep eating it. And it had like this, like, what's the right word I want to say? Obsession with just wanting to eat it. It's crazy. And I know people that probably like Rick that hasn't eaten carbs their entire life basically are probably thinking I'm crazy. And then there's probably other people that are hearing me say this and they're probably like, I know exactly what you're saying. It's just your brain can be tricked so easily.
Yeah. And I said that and asked you that question, Brian, because this has been almost a weekly battle for me. I was doing so well. In 2026, I did one of my AI songs for one of my videos. The song I made up was 2026 will be my year. And I just was so, happy and ecstatic about going into the new year. And with all the challenges the year has brought so far, it's been anything but I'm gonna get it turned around. I don't have any choice. I mean, my back's already starting to hurt. Eventually my feet are gonna start hurting again. If I don't make some changes like right now and get control of this, that addiction, then I could fall off the wagon big time and end up back in the hospital, and then not a good thing. But yeah, my back hurting right now. This is the first real, even though I've messed up here, there, and the other, this is the first real sign of, oh my gosh, I'm really bordering on getting back to where I was in a health way. So I'll call it a wake up call. And I'm off tomorrow, and my wife and I have decided we're going to do a few things around the house tomorrow, but we're going to kind of just let me exhale. I've been going wide open since January 1st, and then we had the crazy weather with the snow and the ice and everything. So I'm going to do a little bit of stuff around the house tomorrow. I'm probably going to take a nap tomorrow and hopefully get my feet firmly back on the ground before I go back to work, because I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 12-hour shifts. So tomorrow's my only day to really pull it back together, get caught up on my rest. Because that's when I tend to have the biggest problems, is when I'm so dang tired. My brain just don't work right. And I have no will. When I'm tired, I have no willpower.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you just can't. Yeah. Carno Mofo says, I'm 1 week away from my 5-year carniversary. So congratulations. That's a great
that's a great milestone
accomplishment. Yeah. Rick says back pain is something I have never experienced. Let me tell you, you are so lucky. Before I started carnivore, that along with AFib was one of my biggest issues. I literally couldn't sleep more than a couple of hours in bed at night because my lower back and my hips would hurt so hard that I just couldn't stand sleeping in the bed any longer.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly, within a few weeks of being on carnivore, that went away and I was able to sleep in bed. And probably within a month, the pain was like completely gone. And it's just like the first time since then, so like 3.5 years, that I have experienced the back pain. And oh my gosh, it was a rude awakening. It was a slap in the face. The slap in the face that I needed. Like, why were you doing that? Why did you eat that can of frosting? Jesus. I'm still mad at myself, as you can imagine. Cynthia hits her 3 years in April 1st. Congratulations.
Good job.
Ahead of time. Congratulations. Yeah, see, Thomas agrees with you. He has no willpower when he's tired. And that makes perfect sense. You're tired, your brain's not going to be functioning as well and so forth. Makes perfect sense.
So when I worked at Lowe's, before I took the job I have now, I had a very regimented schedule. I worked I worked 7 to 5, 4 days a week. My days off were pretty much the same. I ate lunch at, 12 o'clock every day. I had 12 to 1, and I got all those steps in, and it worked great. I mean, I lost 100 pounds. I felt amazing. And since I've been in the job I have now, this is when I've struggled the most, but I spend most of my time sitting because I'm either in the back of the ambulance or I'm driving, and we may or may not get lunch. I mean, some days we do 9, 10 calls. Well, average call takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how far away the patient goes and if the hospital has them ready when you get there. So there are times I go to work at 9 in the morning and I'll go home to 11 o'clock at night. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no And so when I find myself, and then I got to be back up in the next morning, I like to get up, cook my bacon and eggs, and then clean up the kitchen before I go to work. So I usually get up 6:30, 6:45, so I have time to do all that. So when I don't get my 7 or 8 hours of sleep for 3 or 4 days in a row, it really, really catches up with me. So I can say for this American, I'm probably not getting not getting any healthier in 2026 so far, but hope springs eternal. We're going to get back.
Yeah. So Coach Eden says that she's grateful to not ever have any back issues. And I don't think about that often. All my 60 plus friends have back issues. You know, I probably jinxed myself here because I'm pretty sure, I don't remember if it was in last week's live or if it was when I was on Coach Eden's channel, but I'm pretty sure, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Coach Eden's, but I'm pretty sure I had talked about how I never have any back issues since I've been carnivore, and how my wife was complaining about her back and saying, you know how it hurts, and you sometimes just like in here. And I'm like, no, like, because I never have those back issues. And then I go and eat a can of Frosty and I have severe back pain to where like my walking was horrible for like 2 days. I jinxed myself. What can I say?
And Brian, for the whole 2026 so far, with the weather and everything, I haven't done any sprints this year at all. Not the first one. The weather's got to change. I got to get back out there, and I got to get back on my routine, as much of a routine as I can have with my current job. I think I'll feel better once springtime comes.
Yeah. I haven't done push-ups in a week, at least a week, a little over a week. Last Tuesday was the last time I did push-ups. That's how I know push-ups was not my problem with my back problem either, because I hadn't done push-ups in a few days. But oh gosh, I gotta get back to doing push-ups in another day or two here when my back's better. It's pretty good. It's a little bit of soreness, but it's a lot better. So I'm hoping by tomorrow I'll be better. I'll be good.
Yeah. Brian, do you see Jason 916 on there? 847.
Yeah, I'll get to it in just 1 second.
Okay.
Coach Eden says, yes, you did, Brian. So it must have been in the live stream last week that I mentioned that about my back. All right, where are we at? Jason, here we go. 55 days carnivore, and I messed up last night. Had some carbs. Feel defeated. Don't feel so bad. If you've been watching the whole thing, I ate a whole can of Frosty that Friday and Saturday, and I don't know why I did it. Here's the thing. When you do stuff like that, you gotta remember we're human. I know some people are able to go and they go on carnivore and they don't get tempted. They're fine. They never eat anything. But a lot of people have things that happen. They eat something they shouldn't, whatever. So don't get frustrated about it or whatever, feel defeated about it. Just recognize, which I think you have, because you're telling us. So just recognize that you did it and you're going to move on and just try and be better, right? I like to say this a lot of times too. Don't compare yourself to other people. So don't compare yourself to somebody out there that's got a social media account that says, I never mess up, because you have. That's okay. You're just comparing yourself to yourself. Okay. You messed up last night. Tonight, try and be clean. And then you've improved from the day before. That's all you got to do. Keep going. Don't dwell on it.
Jason, I like your emoji, your little picture there. A golf club and a golf ball. Man after my own heart. I love golf. I've only played golf once this whole year. I got to fix that too.
Cynthia says, don't feel defeated, Jason. It's just a learning experience. Just get back on. Yep. That's the other thing too. Like, just because you mess up doesn't mean you're a failure. You just keep going. You keep trying, right? What makes you a failure is if you give up and you don't keep trying. So just get back on it. Keep trying. Try to go longer period the next time before you have a slip up like that. And eventually you keep going and keep going, and it gets better and gets easier until you do like me over the weekend. But anyway, as long as you keep getting back up and trying, you're not a failure. So don't feel bad about it.
Because think about it, Brian. Every day you keep your sugar low, you keep your blood sugar low, you keep your insulin level low. Even when you have those days that you mess up, you're still so far ahead of where you were before you started carnivore, and so far ahead of where most people are. If you screw up one day out of 7, and I'm not advocating that, but that's kind of where I'm at lately, those 6 days that I'm perfect are close to perfect. My blood sugar is stable, my insulin level is stable, and that's got to be beneficial. You know what I'm saying? Messing up is bad, but some people mess up 3, 4, 5 times a day, 7 days a week. They eat carbs, they eat junk, they eat candy bars. I work with most of the guys I work with and gals I work with. They drink soda, sweet soda all day long. You can imagine what their blood sugar looks like and what their insulin level looks like. If you have one mess up, those 55 days or 54 days you did good, you gave your body a chance to begin to heal. So the score now 54-1, right? 54 good days to 1 bad day. You're still way, way ahead than 99% of the population, more than likely. And further ahead than you were before you ever went carnivore. On behalf of your liver and your pancreas, I want to say thank you.
I want to bring this comment up. Best thing I've done when I cheat is to remind myself over and over how bad I feel. Then when I'm back on the wagon, I remind myself, over and over how good I feel. It helps, but it takes time. Yep. Yeah, I got to tell you, I didn't even have to remind myself over and over how bad I feel. It was hurting that bad. It was hurting that bad. It's going to take me a while to forget how bad I felt from doing that. Which I guess is a good thing. That's your body telling you, hey, look, stupid, don't do that again. Yeah, exactly.
And I gotta be honest with you, Brian. I know part of it's because I haven't had, I only slept about 4.5 hours last night, but I feel as bad. This is the worst I've felt in 2.5 years right now. I feel terrible. And my diet today was messed up. I was so frustrated. I tried my best to explain the situation. The people at the testing center were sympathetic, but there's a big company that you got to deal with, and they have a overseas customer service, and they don't understand the language, and it was frustrating. And I kind of got ticked off with the whole situation, and I stopped on the way home and ate a bunch of crap I shouldn't have eaten. And my back was already hurting before that. So got to get back on right now, which I haven't eaten anything since like 4 o'clock. So we're for almost 5 hours fasted. I might just fast all day tomorrow, just drink water and fast tomorrow to kind of give my body a chance to get over it. You know what I'm saying? Kind of hit the reset.
Yeah. I'll bring this comment up from Jason. 2025, I was doing ketovore, and I'd mess up and say, okay, let me just restart next week, next Monday. Always a dang Monday. I am trying to break that habit. I think a lot of us do that. I mean, I even did that when I went from keto to carnivore. I started on July 1st. Like, I should have just started right when I thought to myself, like, yeah, I'm going to do carnivore. I should just start right then. But I had to like start it at a particular time that made sense, right? Which was like July 1st for me. So a lot of us do that, and some of us, I think too, like if we eat something bad on the weekend, okay, I'm just going to wait until Monday, and then I'm going to, and that can be a bad habit to try and break. Like it, if you wait and you keep eating bad, you're just compounding the problems that you're creating in your body. So it's best to catch yourself and just start right away. Say, that's it. I'm starting right now. But it's really hard to do, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, Brian, it's kind of like once you started eating that frosting, you say, I got to finish it off now, And for me, if I mess up in the morning, I say, well, I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm being transparent here. If I screw up and have a donut or honey bun in the morning with my coffee on my way to work, then my thought process is, well, the whole day's shot. I might as well enjoy the day, pig out, and tomorrow I'll get back on plan. So instead of just having that one slip up, I end up having 2 or 3 over the course of the entire day. I eat the French fries, I get the brownie, I drink the Diet Coke or whatever, because hell, I've already ruined the days. Let's just, enjoy the day and we'll start tomorrow, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. So that's just as bad,
Yeah. Yep. And Peter says, Jason, don't wait until Monday to restart. Go back on plan at the very next meal and just keep going on plan. You'll do a lot better that way instead of making excuses and rationalizing. Yep.
I
agree. And
Peter's talking to me there. There was the whole rationalizing thing. I'm my own biggest enemy there.
That's exactly what I did this weekend though with the frosting, right? I was making excuses and rationalizing, like, I said, well, this can is open now. I got to get rid of the evidence. I might as well just eat the rest of it. That was me making an excuse. I shouldn't have done it. When you have a bad golf hole, what do? The best thing to do is to forget about the bad hole and keep going, right? Yes, it is. Unfortunately, I just go and have another bad hole after that, and then another one, and another one.
I throw my pitching wedge in the lake.
Yeah, and then you just leave mad.
Yeah, I usually end up with at least one club in the lake every time I play golf. One club is going to be broken over a tree or in the lake. I've got a bunch of spare clubs because I keep because I want it so bad to be a little bit better than last time. And sometimes, like the last 2 or 3 times I've played, I've shot like 108. And I know that sounds terrible to most people that don't play golf, but they say only about 30% of the people that play golf will ever break 100. And I'm right there at 108, 107, 109. So for me, that's really, really good. So haven't thrown any clubs and probably the last year, but there have been times I've gotten mad. You've seen people on these YouTube videos, they'll throw their whole bag of clubs in the lake and then go the next day and buy a new set, So that's what I do, Peter. I don't just put it behind me. I usually throw something and I'm mad at myself, Depends on how many people are behind me.
Yeah. Colonel says, I'm carnivore, so now if I cheat, I try to do it with keto approved items. That's a really good thing. You know, it's better to do that than to do what I did. Let me tell you.
Yeah. And then what Dr. Barry says, if you're going to cheat on carnivore, cheat to ketovore. If you're going to cheat on ketovore, cheat to keto, just take it one step up, allow yourself whatever, and then get back on the plan.
Yeah. Amy says, I feel bad because I just got home from California and we had to eat out most of our meals. And I don't think the meat was totally clean and probably cooked with seed oils. Yeah, that's one of the problems with eating out a lot. That's why I tend to not, like, my wife and I used to eat out a lot, and I tend to not go out as often now and eat, just because you don't know what is being cooked with, or what was cooked on that same, whatever it is, fryer, whatever they're using before it, that you're still going to have some residue with. So that is definitely a problem, especially if you do a lot of it in a short time period, like when you're on vacation like that or something. So I definitely understand that.
I think Amy said her knees started hurting again too. So she probably did get some seed oil. And I did see, Amy, that you were in California. Of course, I follow Amy on Facebook too. And I saw that they were on a trip, her and her husband. They had to get out of the Indiana snow, I guess. But yeah, seed oils, man, it seems like a seed oil. If you get something like, I think Peter was saying earlier, whatever, get something with seed oil, man, it doesn't take long. I think I could deal with just sugar. You get some palm oil, palm kernel oil, or safflower oil, whatever all that stuff is. Seems like it jumps all over you pretty quickly as far as the inflammation.
Yeah. And Cynthia was asking here, do you think that's why your knees are hurting? Probably is.
Yeah.
Probably is. Peter said he had a double quarter pounder with fries and ketchup at McDonald's at the airport on his way home, and his knees are hurting bad. Yep.
Hey, Brian, I got a question for you. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I don't mean to put you on the spot right here, but why don't we plan when some of my moving stuff settles down and all, if you have some time off, how about you and I go to the mountains and go on a hike? Wouldn't that be cool? Go to the Appalachian Mountains somewhere and go hiking. That would be kind of cool. Do a video of that.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
do
would
a
be.
live together in a cabin or something like that. Me, my wife, you and your wife or something. Maybe
Yeah.
sometime in June or July. That would be cool.
It would probably have to be like the June time frame because I got my one daughter's wedding is in
That's right.
May.
Yeah, that's right.
And then the other
I forgot
one's
about
later in the fall. So I think
Yeah.
June could possibly work. Yeah. We'll have to see if we can plan that.
That'd be cool. Hopefully by then we'll both be over our frosting and our honey bun issues here, and we can get out there and go hiking. Yeah, if you guys saw the video, but Brian and I spent some time together. That's one of the thumbnail that Brian puts up. Him and I sitting on the bench together. I went and spent a couple of days. My wife and I went up there to see Brian for a couple of days back before Halloween, I think it was, and we had a blast up until we didn't. When Brian tipped over. But yeah, we just had so much fun. I would just like it'd be cool if we get together again and do another like live together, or do one of these together and do it like from the mountains or something. Go actually hiking in the mountains. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Can you imagine if I ate the frosting when I tore my hamstring?
Yeah, you still be limping.
Yeah. Oh God. And that's the one thing that actually, now that you bring that up, I'm kind of grateful. Like my hamstring hasn't hurt. So that means it's not the weakest link in my body because the inflammation was attacking my weakest link, which apparently is my lower back and hips. So that's gosh. That was a fun time, like you said, until I fell. So yeah. Coach Eden says that does sound like fun.
Yeah. Maybe we can open it up, see if anybody else wants to come. That would be kind of cool. Invite some of our viewers or whatever, if they wanted to join us, that would be really cool. Instead of doing a meetup, do something like that, go hiking in the mountains or go somewhere to a national park or something and do a big hike or something. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe cook out on the grill or something, get some steaks and like BYOS, bring your own steak and everybody meet together at a state park or something, or up in the mountains and just invite a bunch of people.
Yeah. Hey, Sandy. Thanks for
Sandy,
joining tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, Thomas. You don't know how often I am told to take a hike. Yeah. So Coach Eden's asked where we live. I live in Virginia. You're in Charlotte area, but you're moving to South Carolina or Georgia?
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Well, yeah, right at the border. It's Aiken, South Carolina, but right across the bridge is Augusta, Georgia. So it's essentially North Augusta, South Carolina. But yeah, near the Georgia, South Carolina border. But hey, I'll have a car. I got a car. We'll travel. We'll meet up somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then my wife and I went to Virginia to visit Brian last year. That's really fun.
Yep. It was an awesome fall, Brian, especially in slow motion.
And I showed it over and over and over again from different starting points.
We did show that thing in slow motion, man.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Famous last words. One more. Just do one more, Brian. Famous last words.
Yeah. The next time we go do something, you tell me to do one more, I'm going to give you a dirty look.
That's right. Nope. Yeah.
Oh, but we were doing so great, and it was feeling so good too. Yeah. So,
yeah, I can't wait to get out there and do some more sprints. This weather's got to change soon, so I can get back out there.
Oh, I know it's been a rough winter, very cold, snowy. I can't wait until it gets warmer too. I'm not getting as much sun because I'm not going outside as often. Even like a lot of times I work from home. There are times I have to go into the office, but a lot of times I'm working from home, and like at lunchtime I might cook myself a steak outside, fire up the grill, getting sun, that kind of stuff. But right now it's too cold. I'm not doing that. I'm cooking in my steak on the air fryer or something. And yeah, I'm not getting the sun that I was over the summer and fall time period even. So oh yeah, we've been talking about the great can of frosting incident. Yeah, I'm never gonna live that one down now.
Well, you made the thumbnail and put it out there on the video.
Well,
But you're being transparent.
I'm sure there are people that can relate to that though, and maybe it'll
Yep.
help them.
Exactly. When they see that Brian fell off the wagon, he got back on the wagon. How many times have I fallen off the wagon? I think we're up to about a dozen now over the last 2.5 years. I still keep getting back on. So hopefully,
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, hopefully that people will see that if you make a mistake, it's not over. Like you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
It's not over. It's not over till you quit. If you mess up, just put it behind you. Even if you eat the whole darn can of frosting or the whole box of donuts, it's not over. Tomorrow's a brand new day.
Yep. And, I don't want to portray that I'm perfect or anything. So if I mess up, I'm going to let you guys know.
Yep. Me too.
Oh, Cynthia says there's no snow in Iowa. Well, there's actually no snow here right now. We got some snow over the weekend and it melted already. So that's good. But yeah, Missouri was 70 and sunny today. We've been in the 40s. So I'm not liking
And we were in the 50s today. Cynthia, 2 weeks ago, I had 14.5 inches of snow in my backyard. 14.5 inches after having 4 inches of ice the week before. But the second storm we had was snow. I had 14.5 inches of snow on top of all the ice that had never melted. So
at least that I don't know what you want to call it, bomb cyclone, nor'easter, blizzard, Armageddon, whatever you want to call it from this weekend. At least it was all much north of us, right?
Oh yeah.
Areas of New York and Massachusetts got like 3 feet of snow, I think, stuff like that. At least we didn't get any of that stuff, man. That would have been crazy. We just got like an inch, and then, like I said, it melted right away. So so I know we said that we were going to keep it to an hour, and we actually went over a little bit. That's so sorry about that, Johnny. I know Johnny needs to get some sleep. He's been up all day from early this morning.
3:30 this morning.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and call it here. We'll be back on next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time.
Yep.
Any last words, Johnny, before we drop?
No, just y'all have a great week. Stay warm. Try to get as much exercise as you can and stay away from the frosting and the honey buns and the donuts and stuff. And if you screw up, put it behind you. Get right back on the horse. That's what I'm going to do. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday with another episode of Real Talk.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.